Welcome to Primetime, everybody. I'm your host, Hunter Chambliss. I'm joined by my co-host, Chad and Carrie. How's it going, guys?
Going great. I love the Welcome to Primetime bitch. That's one of the greatest horror lines ever.
Yes, very suiting name for this show.
Yeah.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Tonight we'll be discussing 2022's Scream. All spoiler talk, of course. Movie came out last weekend, so if you guys did not see it, get on it. That's all I'll say. But we do have some movie news. Chad, please take us away with our first news story.
Absolutely. You thought we were done with some horror in 2022? Oh, hell no. We got Scream 5 that came out, or Scream 2022. And now we have a new one that's dropping in March, or late March 18th, called X. And it's from director Ty West. I don't know if you know Ty West, but I know Ty West. We saw a movie called The House of the Devil. And it was like a really cool, like slow burn film. And I was sitting there waiting for something to happen the whole movie. And then it happens, I think more towards the end. And then I was like, I kind of like that. It was like really slow burn, but I'm really interested to see what he comes up with this one, because this one looks really fun and really interesting. It's starring Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi, and Jenna Ortega, who's also in Scream 5.
What's it called?
Oh, it's called X.
Yep.
Did I not mention that? Sorry.
You might have, but
it's called
I don't
X, and it's about filmmakers attempt to shoot an adult film at a farm, but the elderly couple that lives there turn violent. It's very simple, in my own words, synopsis I got. I mean, the trailer looks really fun. I really like this. I didn't really look up what the song was that they used, but it really gets me in the mood to watch a fun horror movie. The song choice that they use and the coloring, it just looks kind of interesting. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Carrie?
the film style is really cool. At least in the trailer, some of it reminds you of old 70s films. Definitely was giving me some Texas Chainsaw vibes.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
And I'm totally on board for that.
Yeah, there was a scene in the trailer where they pan. It's like a front camera pan to people in the back of the van. That shot reminded me so much of the van scene at the opening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because you got all the groups of people in this old ass crappy van, and you know exactly where they're going. And this movie looks so much fun. And funny enough, I'm not sure if you mentioned the type of movie they're making. They're making an adult film. So that should be interesting to see.
Yeah, that wasn't the synopsis. Yeah.
Kind of mixed together. Because you know that the first rule of horror movies is, right?
Yep. Don't have sex.
Nope.
According to Randy, at least.
According to Randy.
And horror in general, I guess.
Yeah. Because Jason will come.
Yeah. So looking forward to that one possibly. And then Carrie and I are actually doing a thing where we're watching a lot of Sundance films this year. This is our first time doing this. I figure they're going virtual again, so why not take advantage of that? Buy some tickets. We have the means to do so. So we grabbed a few, and I made sure to get some horror movies.
There you
I
go.
really wanted to get on the front lines of seeing some of these great horror films that are coming out. And I have a few. I have 3 horror films that we're seeing. We're seeing a movie called Hatching, which is directed by Hannah Bergholm, and it's about a girl, like a 12-year-old girl, who finds a mysterious egg that hatches into a creature that acts upon her repressed emotions.
Damn.
I think there's probably going to be some body horror, some weird shape-shifting stuff, or the doppelganger horror. I don't know what this movie is really
Give
about.
me more Malignant movies.
There you go. Yeah, I love Malignant. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then we have another one that we're seeing called Speak No Evil. This one's
See no evil, speak no evil.
Huh?
See no evil, speak no evil.
You speak no evil this time. It's directed by Christian Tafdrup, and it's about a Danish family. A Danish family visits a Dutch family that they met on vacation, and then the Dutch family test the patience of the Danes, but they may be hiding something sinister.
Ooh.
Really all I know about it, but it kind of feels kind of like The Invitation a little bit.
Oh, see, I was thinking from that description, like Mother, where
Yes.
everyone who comes into that house just gets on your nerves.
And you're just like, get the hell out of my house.
Well, hopefully it won't get on our nerves.
I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe it's an anxiety horror. Like those happen sometimes. And then the
Those are
third,
fun.
yeah, I hope so. And then the third one is called You Won't Be Alone. I'm very excited about this one. It's directed by Goran Stilevsky. It's actually starring Noomi Rapace, and she's from Lamb most recently, Prometheus, and the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the original like
Swedish
ones.
Swedish version, yeah.
And the plot of this one is a girl transformed into a witch by a shape-shifting spirit inhabits different people over the years in 19th century Macedonia. And it's actually a Macedonian film, so I'm very interested in that one as well. And
those are 3 different horror movies, like
the
different
subgenres. More of a supernatural kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think the Speak No Evil is going to be a little more realistic, but the Hatching seems kind of more
body horror,
supernatural, but also kind of maybe like metaphorical, kind of like the Babadook is kind of like the vibe.
Yeah.
For me. So yeah, I'm very excited, and we'll have to update everybody on how those go and if we like them.
Definitely.
So we know what to check out later.
Let me see if I can look something up real quick.
Sure.
I think those are all foreign films too.
We're doing this live.
Yeah, I think they all are foreign films. Very excited about them, but like we hit the ground running. I feel like with Scream 2022, because you know when a movie comes out and you're like they're doing another one, but it's not directed by Wes Craven this time. It's the first one that wasn't directed by Wes Craven, and it's like, okay, well, even Scream 3 was directed by Wes Craven, and that one's super fun. And so it's like, what are they going to do? But we know that this one was directed by Radio Silence, who did Ready or Not.
Yeah.
And that was a super fun movie. I think all 3 of us love that movie. And so I was very hyped for Scream 5.
All right, so sorry to interrupt you.
No worries.
So I did look up everything about our next story, which is Final Destination 6 gets a new writer and a new producer. So Final Destination 6 is going to be an HBO Max exclusive coming out, I believe, either this year or next year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be exclusively to HBO Max. And they have the director of Spider-Man No Way Home, the director of Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man Far From Home, John Watts, as the producer. And it has one of the writers for 2022 Scream, Guy, how do you say his name? Busnick, Busick. He, again, one of the writers of this current Scream movie. As one of the screenwriters for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that like HBO, things going straight to HBO Max these days doesn't mean that they don't have faith in the movie. It just means that HBO probably paid a crap ton of money to get this, and just wants more subscribers to HBO Max. I'm excited. I actually really loved Final Destination 5.
I did too. The surprise prequel that no one knew it was.
Yeah. And coming off of Final Destination 4, I'm sure we'll rank these at some point.
We will.
Coming off of Final Destination 4, I don't know how many excitement there was for 5, but I feel like 5 is one of the better ones in the franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And even though it like kind of spoiler alert for Final Destination 5 kind of came a little full circle. I'm excited to see where they're gonna go. Do you have a sort of like plot?
I do actually have a plot summary. It says, as a group of first responders escape death's grasp, they start to be killed off by increasingly unlikely and killer mishaps.
I am so excited for a new series of scenarios that will probably never happen, but will haunt me forever.
Well, they had like one in a warehouse. I think that was Scream 5. They had like a warehouse type of thing. It's like a hardware type of
the hardware store where it's like the
like the staple gun and the nail gun
in the back of the head.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
So what's interesting about this one is it's supposed to set up a new franchise, or it's supposed to be like almost like a reboot of the series, but instead of following high school students or whatever, it's following first responders. I love that because the whole idea of like first responders are people who save lives, and now they're having to fight for their lives. That separation of like you save lives, but now can you save your own life?
Yeah, I mean, like, who can you root for if not first responders? To not
exactly.
So.
And hopefully there'll be no annoying characters like in 4.
Oh my god!
Yeah, well, in 4, a lot of it was it just seemed the filming was like, I don't know, and the special effects were really, really bad.
Really
like,
bad.
You could tell they made that movie for 3D and it didn't work.
Yeah.
With the tires.
Yeah.
Hitting the face with the tire.
Your face, tires. The flames looked weird.
It's kind of sad because it's a very cool concept. Like,
yeah.
But it just wasn't executed very well. I think.
I don't know. I'm a
huge
fan of 3.
3 is very fun.
It's got Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Has my celebrity crush on it. In it, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, that's Scott Pilgrim again for you, as we were talking off screen. She's amazing. If you haven't seen Fargo season 3, she's great in that.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna
definitely check that out.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the news stories. Now let's spend the rest of the next hour or so talking about Scream 5.
Wow, okay. Yay. Scream 5. Let's do this.
All right, so let's start off with our opening thoughts on the movie as a whole. You guys want to start first?
Sure. Do you want to start, Carrie?
Yeah, I'll start. So Scream is my favorite franchise. I think it's maybe all of our favorite franchises.
Yes, of course.
So needless to say, absolutely loved this movie. Had a fantastic time watching it. 5 stars in my opinion.
Wow. Okay. Did you rewatch it since
every Scream movie gets a 5 star.
Okay.
I mean, they would have really fucked it up. Even I'm still sorting out my opinions because I think I need to watch it again. Right now, I hold so much nostalgia for 3 that right now it's above 5 in my opinion. But I could see that changing. So right now it's my least favorite entry of the franchise, but I still absolutely love it.
It's hard to fall in love with stuff the first watch.
The first time around, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I definitely want to check this one out again soon. As far as Scream in general goes, it definitely holds a special place in my heart and a special place in our relationship. And I'll just tell the brief story. In college, Carrie and her friends were able to set up like this Scream showing in a classroom. So they projected
a stabathon,
kind of like it was basically like a stabathon with just a smaller one. And but yeah, I was at that time. So this is going to show that I'm not the oldest of horror fans. I've always wanted to get into horror, but I always thought I was scared. And then I really wanted to not go to that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to miss out. And then I was like, let's go. If I get too scared, we'll leave. And I ended up falling in love with the first Scream so much. And I had seen like parts of it and stuff as like a kid and stuff like that. But like in college is where I actually fell in love with this franchise. And it has become my favorite horror franchise. And it has become like the stepping stone for me into horror. And now it's just like one of our favorite genres. I mean, it's been yours for a lot longer, but yeah. So I understand when you say that, like, it's hard for you to put like just a new one this fresh above the rest of them, because even 3, a lot of people say 3 is a bad movie. I don't know if I'd go that far as to say 3 is a bad movie, but I definitely would say it's probably the weakest of the bunch. And yet it's still one of the most fun horror movies you could watch. So, but yeah, on to Scream 5. Personally, yeah, I love this one as well. As I think about it, like certain things kind of like dip and I have questions and I go, does that really make sense? Did they really need to do that? But like overall, I thought it was just so well done. It was so smart. Like I just think about like what it could have been. And then I'm like, they did such a great job to bring it to like new fans, but also, make sure that older fans can actually fall in love with it as well. I just think they blended that so well. It's so smart. And Hunter, what did you think about this movie?
So I've only watched it once. I'm gonna go see it again Saturday. But I haven't had an theater experience like this since No Way Home. When it comes to
pretty recent still.
I was so locked into the movie.
Yeah.
Because normally I like talking and things like that, whispering back and forth, being like, you see that, blah, blah, blah.
You're one of those?
I don't talk out loud, but I wasn't doing that a lot. I was locked into this movie.
Yeah.
And I think what it is that opening scene is so good that it immediately brings you right back into Woodsboro, right back into the Scream franchise. And it's so natural. It feels like it just flows right into the next one.
Yeah.
And for that, I got to put it probably in my top 3.
Nice.
See, I'm debating between where number 2 is. It's between this and 4. Back and forth.
Well, I'm sure we'll rank them a little later in the episode, but yeah.
Give us some time to think about it.
Is there any like performances or any like really great moments that you absolutely loved in this one?
I mean, when you talk about performances, you got to bring up Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, easily.
She was the star of this movie, and she pretty much made it her movie. And I also love Melissa Barrera in this movie, but when they're in the same scene together, you can clearly tell that Jenna Ortega is like commanding the screen at that point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she's a scene stealer for sure.
Oh yeah,
and as like young as she is, it's just ridiculous. She needs to stop. No, keep going, Jenna. I'm just kidding.
Now, one of the scenes I really love, and that's early on, is when you find out, spoiler alert, that Samantha is the daughter of Billy Loomis. Mm-hmm. And she has that scene where she has to tell Tara, and just the emotion on Jenna Ortega's face, how she's able to go from sad to confusion to anger, just, one by one, is impressive as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
All right, so let's see. So I kind of had a laid out plan.
Sure.
Kind of going by through characters, if you guys will.
Yeah.
So again, spoilers. This is where we ruin the ending for you. Starting with the killers, nice. Amber and Richie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love when Amber makes that turn in this movie and she goes full Stu Macher. I fucking love it.
Yeah,
they have quotable lines at that end.
Like welcome to Act 3.
Welcome to the third act.
I love the third act. There you go.
Yeah, I love the line. You can't have a bona fide Halloween without Jamie Lee.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was a really interesting pair because I feel like and this is not a negative thing. I feel like they were both kind of stews. Neither of them were really Billies for me. I was like, they both seem kind of like fuck ups the whole time.
I will say, I got more Stu from Amber. I'm not saying
easily.
I got Billy from Richie, but
I would say Richie's more Billy.
yeah.
But he also has a little bit of stew in him. Like, what about my ending?
Yeah, what about my ending? Great
Yeah.
line. But what's great about it is Jack Quaid is such a good actor that he blends a good mix of Billy and Stu.
Agree. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
So he plays like a good mixture of both of them.
But I feel like Barrera, Sam, I feel like she was a Billy, just she was the hero or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. She stabbed him like 17 times.
That was badass. I love that. I love that.
I was like, Jesus.
It's like, never mess with the daughter of a serial killer.
Don't fuck with the daughter of a serial killer is a great line too.
Yep.
Great new rule. I like it. Now, another Amber line I like is when she's talking about Dewey, and she's like, yeah, and he died like a pussy. I'm just like, you bitch.
Yeah, it does make you want everything, like the way she dies, to happen to her.
By the way, that actress loves to be set on fire.
I was about to bring this up too. Go ahead.
Movie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Well, we should also say, if we're gonna bring that up, spoiler alert for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That movie came out in like 2019. I think we're good at this point.
But yes, a spoiler alert. But yeah, like the end of that movie is just one of the best endings I've ever seen.
So good.
It was like before No Way Home. I think that was like our favorite theater experience, and it might still be our favorite.
It was, yeah, just because before we saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I hadn't seen Inglourious Bastards. Right. So I had no idea that Tarantino's thing was to take a historical event and totally change it. So I'm expecting like Sharon Tate to die. They're going to go through the whole murder scene, and they just totally flipped it. And it was like my favorite thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's some funny quotes at that end scene where Brad Pitt's character, he's talking to Tex, and he's like, what's your name? What's your name? And he goes, I'm the devil. I'm doing the devil's work. He just goes, nah, it was something stupider than that.
I've only seen that movie once. We need to watch that more often.
Oh, it's something. I watched it like 3 times in the theaters.
Nice. So anyways, Scream 5, I feel like those were, I loved how unhinged Amber was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's just so insane. And I just love, actually, that's kind of like her being kind of like really sadistically insane. In some ways, she's also Billy. Because Billy's like the crazier.
And what's funny is
homicidal one.
Yeah. I feel like they both played the good role of Stu and Billy at the same time.
Yeah.
Because especially when Amber is first in the movie, she's very quiet. She's very, she seems normal.
Yeah.
I mean, she has some lines here and there, and I'm very intrigued to go back and see if I can catch any lines where she, it makes it more obvious or more Easter eggs that you can tell.
I will say there was a scene pretty early. I think it was right after when they're in the hospital with Tara, or one of those scenes around that, like right after Tara's attacked. And I thought you could see just a little bit of a bruise on her chest. On Amber's chest. I don't know. I'll have to go back and rewatch it to see if that was just a trick. That would be a really cool touch if that's true.
I'm gonna have to go back and look again.
Put it past them.
So what was I gonna say before that?
Sorry. Oh no, I derailed you.
No. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. But yeah, they're both a great mixture of Billy and Stu together. Especially, when we find out that Amber's the killer, she just blows this Liv's head off, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, no mask reveal, nothing, just shoot her in the fucking head.
Yeah, that was a really cool way
to
to reveal it. Like the ways they revealed the killers were cool because that one was so abrupt, and then the one with Richie
was so slow.
The one with Richie, it was fantastic because I think genuinely the whole movie you're thinking it could go either way with him. This could be a Billy situation, it could be a Derek situation. You don't
or a Trevor situation.
Yeah. And when Sydney's like struggling for the gun.
Get the gun.
And she tells Richie to get the gun.
He's going so slowly.
And that's when I was like, oh, that's what she did with Billy.
Like, I was shot.
Dude. And when he stabs Sam and he twists the knife, you're just like,
oh yeah.
No. Because like again, the metaphor of like literally twisting the dagger, I love it.
And I'll say like just to piggyback off of that, just holy shit, the way that they do some of the kills in this one,
so brutal.
Mm-hmm. Especially, we're already talking spoilers, y'all. Dewey's death.
Dude, he got stabbed in the front and the back.
And they like pulled it up.
I mean, they had to. They had.
Not cool, but cool.
Not cool, but cool.
How dare you guys kill our Dewey? What the fuck is your problem?
Honestly, that's a big part of why it's like last for me is because I feel like 1 through 4 are kind of like my comfort movies because the main 3 survive.
Yeah, right.
And then 5
yeah.
I gotta say, we might do a character ranking at some point for the screens, but Dewey ranks very highly for me. And he was one of my pulls into because I just love David Arquette. When I was a kid, I watched like C-Spot Run.
Oh my god, I watched that movie as a kid too.
And his wrestling movie, Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble.
So yeah, David Arquette. I just was like, oh, I love David Arquette. I want to watch this movie. And so like, yeah, I was just so excited to get into this franchise because of him as well. And yeah, he just easily became like one of my favorite characters. He's just so goofy. And this movie does something that Scream 3 and Scream 4 kind of forgot about. And it's the Dewey theme. They bring back his score. So when he actually shows up, like all suited up to stop the bad guy, they bring back the score from like Scream 2. And it just like, I don't know. I just love how they show him so worn down and kind of like his life has gone. I mean, it's sad, but it makes sense for his character. Like, breaking it's just so meta too to like, because I know David Arquette hasn't had like the easiest of times as like an actual person. And I feel like that kind of mirror that a little bit with his character in this movie.
I will say though, if anyone had to die of the legacy characters, it makes sense for it to be Dewey. Yeah. And I say that because Dewey is the heart of these movies. And at that point, what's great about it is they didn't just kill him and forget about him. They killed him for a reason. And that reason was, one, for Sydney to come back in town and fight back, but also to make the connection between Sydney and Gail super, super strong because now they only have each other. They don't have to time together.
And he was just doing what he learned from the other movies that he was.
Which was you have to shoot him in the head or they're not coming back. I love that moment because he could have easily ran off, but he was like, no, this was his moment to be a hero.
This was like the other things, like, as much as I love Scream 2, there's like the thing in the car when they're so scared. I'm like, just pull his mask off. You'll be able to see his face. Pull that mask off. And I'm like, no one ever thinks to pull the mask off because you can't reveal the killer that early.
Yeah.
But he goes
on the script.
He goes to make sure the job is done, and he unfortunately dies. And it's just a great moment, despite how hard it is to lose a character like that. Honestly, I feel like out of the legacy characters, he's the best one. And I feel like Sid and Gale really don't do that much in this movie. They're kind of just there a lot of the times. And
I
feel
will
like
say,
Dewey actually had like stuff to do in this movie.
This felt like Dewey's movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to die in this one makes a lot of sense. He had a beginning, a middle, and an end in this film.
Yep.
Carrie?
Oh, so sad the end.
Yeah. I mean, I'm as sad as I am that they killed him in this movie. He did, at least, like you said, they had reasoning behind it, and it was to like push the plot forward. And his character personally had a reason. It wasn't like he died for nothing. He was trying to end this cycle of violence and not just run away and have Ghostface escape and kill a whole bunch more people.
It's really brilliant writing, I feel like.
Yeah.
They did a great job with that.
Yeah, because I feel like in any other writers or director's hands, they would have missed what made Dewey great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because you have Radio Silence, who are huge Scream and Wes Craven fans, they understood that if Dewey's going to die, we're going to give him a proper way to go.
Yeah.
It also like it all ties in. The double tap to having to kill him twice. Plus Dewey being smart to realize, hey, they don't know this. I do. It'd be dumb for me to just leave them alone and then just go with them.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, like, for him to go back to like make sure that but also, to make sure that the killer's dead, but also just at least distract them so that they could
get out.
Yeah. So it's just a lot
which is really a dick move when you realize that Richie was there with him.
I know. Oh.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you motherfucker.
That's what's going to make it really fun to go back and watch it a second time when knowing, it's why Scream's so fun. It's why all these are so fun when you know who the actual killers are. Especially, I feel like Scream 4 has really, when you're like, oh my God, like, spoiler alert for Scream 4.
Again, came out in 2011. We're good at this point.
But, Emma Roberts just in that freaking role. Holy shit. Like, I'm just
she's like top 3 for me.
I know, like, and we got to rank the Ghostface at some point because there's a lot of them. There's like 7 of them, and it'd be like really, really fun to do. But like, she would rank pretty high. And it's just because like with Jill Roberts' character, she's just such a good Two-Face. She may be one of the best Two-Face.
Yeah, so, I mean, I also love her motivation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yes, because it's a change from like the normal motivation, and like for her, it's like, no, I want to be the star. I want to be the famous victim, like Sydney.
And what's great about that is Wes Craven. He's a mind reader, time traveler. I don't know, because a few years later, that's what YouTube became.
Mm-hmm.
You would do, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. They did ridiculous shit to get fame. Scream 4 called it back in 2011.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of motivation, let's get to the killer's motivation. See that?
Nice.
Yeah, I was waiting for this to come up. I think this is another brilliant part of Scream 5.
So I have a little something written down. Richie and Amber were huge Stab fans who like other Stab fans, hated Stab 8 because of the story and the script, and because there was no Sidney Prescott character. The fans became so mad they were accused of being toxic fans. So Richie and Amber meet on a Stab subreddit and decide to make a requel of Stab 8 with Samantha as the star because of her connection to original killer Billy Loomis.
Yeah.
So fucking smart.
I mean, it's just so relevant to today's times because that's happening right now. Especially like I think one of the biggest ones recently is like, just the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. And how people, feel about that. Oh, and also Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah. By the way, sorry. Speaking of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
You catch who directed Stab 8? Ryan
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 Johnson.
Johnson,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
love that tie.
that was hilarious.
So, I mean, they're really referring back to The Last Jedi and just how,
Yep.
you know, it's got so, you know, I don't know what, you know, viewers' opinions are of this movie. You either love it, you hate it. There's really no in between.
But that became the turning point for toxic fandom in Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. And like it got so bad that even the filmmakers, J.J. Abrams, decided to placate to the toxic fans and be like, I'm gonna undo everything in the previous movie in the new movie, and we got a really shitty movie out of it.
Yeah, then we get, you know, no one like you either. I mean, like no one likes the last one. I don't think anyone does. Some people do.
You mean The Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Some people are defenders. You'll get that with everything, and respect to those people if that's what you love. But most people I feel like do not like Rise of Skywalker.
No, see, J.J. Abrams did something that Ryan Johnson couldn't do: connect the Star Wars fan base. They all hate it.
There you
Nobody's
go. That
happy.
makes sense.
Nobody's happy with it.
Not since George Lucas has anyone been able to do that.
Which time he did it twice.
So yeah, I mean, Scream 5. It's just they just make it so relevant to today, so meta, and it's just, you know. And speaking of like you know, the meta stuff in the movie, one of my favorite characters was played by Randy Meeks's niece, Jasmine Brown.
Yeah, Mindy and Chad.
She was, but Mindy though, she was like,
I saw her on Yellow Jackets recently. She is fucking amazing.
We need to check that out. Yeah,
we do need to watch that.
Yeah, I've heard it's great. She is one of my favorite characters in the movie, like new characters, if not my favorite, because, you know, everyone loves Randy Meeks, and I feel like, you know, Kirby and like Charlie, in a sense, were both kind of.
I love Kirby in Scream 4.
They were decent Randy replacement. I feel like she really captured the Randy of, you know, this movie, where
she's got the quirkiness of Randy.
Yes, just explaining the whole requel concept. She did that perfectly.
By the way, I was watching. Sorry to interrupt you. I was watching. Jamie Kennedy's reaction, his like spoiler film.
I need to watch that. I saw review that. I didn't watch it.
To Scream 5, and he said the brilliance of that scene is if you watch it and the way they have it, the camera angled. Mindy is talking about the rules of a requel and what it is, and Randy's picture is staring right at the camera. So you have her talking like Randy would, while Randy is watching in the background.
And it's that's so amazing. I love all of the little nods in the movie like that, and it's just so.
Mindy's sister, she shows up too.
I was about to say, because we were watching with our friends, same friends from college that I was telling you about. We were watching with them, and we were like, "How great would it be if Martha Meeks pops up in Scream 5?" And then she did, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Like looking at each other.
We're like screaming at the screen for
I seriously, because I already mentioned the Dewey thing, but as soon as that Dewey score popped up, that was my like. I was not still in my chair at all. I was moving around, like freaking out, laughing. I'm sure people were staring at me, but I could not help.
What is this dude doing?
So pleased. That's the reaction that these filmmakers can give you if you watch this movie. It's so good.
So another one of my favorite Mindy moments in this film is where she's watching Stab on the TV during the Jamie turnaround scene, and it's like that's like Deadpool, like a fourth wall break in a fourth wall break. Balls. And you're just like,
and then I love when she then turns her weight, goes like she realizes it, and she's like, wait, oh shit,
oh shit. I don't know, like she has so many funny lines, like when Richie says, "I'll be right back," and he stops himself, and she's like, "He's gonna die."
I love how they tease that she might die, and then I love how she doesn't because
Her and Chad both.
Yeah.
huh?
Chad but also did.
Yeah, true.
I thought
exactly.
Chad died, and I was like, "You better not fucking kill another Meeks."
Yeah, definitely don't kill any Chads around here because we're amazing. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where they go in a 6-1 or a Scream 2, whatever you call it. And that's why I'm glad that like characters like that survive because they're my favorite. So especially Mindy.
Yeah. So moving on to her brother Chad, real quick. He's got some good lines as well. Like when Liv wants sex, and he's like, "I would, but I'm still not 100% sure that you're not the killer."
Yeah.
We were cracking up during that part. That was so funny. He's like,
I was like, "That's a Randy line if I ever heard one."
I don't really want to.
I'm not 100% sure that you're not the killer.
Really don't want to be alone with anybody right now.
I love the use of technology in this film, and that comes up when Ghostface is using the
Find Your Phone or whatever
Find Your
it is.
Phone app, and you can see like Liv
Forget what it was
coming
called.
closer to him.
Yeah.
He's just like, "No, like run!"
Yeah, and they made that scary, like this thing that's supposed to keep you safe. They made that scary.
Yeah, they did that twice. The opening scene, which again we're all over the place,
Yes.
but when Ghostface calls Tara, and it's just Roger L. Jackson's voice the first time, and you actually hear his normal voice. I'm like, I turned to my brother and I was like, "Yo, that's Roger L. Jackson. That's his actual voice." And then and then what's great is he goes, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And then that's where the Ghostface voice comes in.
Yeah, he keeps it very
smooth,
very subtle at first, and you're like, "What?" And then
his name is Charlie, by the way, which I wonder if that's a reference to Scream 4.
Right. Yeah. I've heard that Easter egg. Speaking of, I'm glad you brought it back to the opening scene though, because I love that they because when he asks her favorite movie, she says The Babadook.
Yes.
And then she starts talking about elevated horror and how it's like so relevant today that's what horror is now. And then it's almost like Scream 5 in such a meta way as like, okay, but those are boring. Slashers are back.
Yeah.
Kind of a big statement.
Even Ghostface was like, that sounds boring.
Yeah, exactly. I really love that.
I actually like how they tied it into the ending where she's like, "Yep, I still like the Babadook."
I still love the Babadook. Yeah. Babadook's still my favorite.
I do love how that first scene, parallels the first scene in the first Scream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where she's cooking, she's playing with the knives, she's just chatting with him for a little bit, and then he's all
the only thing missing was Chippy Pop.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's not as brilliant as the first one. I don't think anything ever will be. But I
will say the stab trivia question round.
Yes.
that
was great because she's actually smart. She looked that shit up on IMDb.
She's Googling.
She was Googling
trivia. If you're playing trivia in real life, don't do that. But if you're going to be killed, it's okay to do
that. And then I felt so bad with the last question because she just said Billy Loomis, and I was like, "No, you're one off. You almost
got it." That's another kind of thing that wanted to lead me into another. I'm interested to hear what you think, Hunter. Kind of negative for me and maybe Carrie as well. I'm not sure. I'll let her speak for herself. But like the whole Billy Loomis visions, apparition, whatever the hell he was just in her head the whole time. That kind of led into something that I don't really like about some of the Screams that do this. That's one of the big things I don't really like about Scream 3 is all the visions that Sydney starts having of her mother. I don't like supernatural stuff in Scream. I think Scream should be realistic, like gritty, just murder and all that stuff.
I will say, and to
So
defend this point, I've only seen it once. Maybe on a second viewing, it'll be different. But it is said in the movie that Samantha is on antidepressants.
okay, all right.
And that could cause the illusions in her head, or maybe she takes those to stop getting the illusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was she was on like antipsychotics, but I was kind of like, it's a little weird that her psychosis is literally just visions of her dead father. Like, I don't know.
Like
I shouldn't be trying to bring a medical diagnosis.
It's like her dead father, but he looks the same as he did, but a lot older now.
I will say I kind of believe that though, because one, that was a traumatic experience in her life. Like, not only did she find out that her father isn't her real father, but she caused her actual, like, her not biological father to leave and abandon her family. So, and her being so young, she was only like 13. So I kind of get the idea that now that she's on antipsychotics, along with running away, doing other stuff, possibly drugs or alcohol in the past, could trigger some of these kind of mental breaks. That's why she had to leave Woodsboro. Maybe I'm just looking into this because I want to love this movie so much, but
I mean, if that's an aspect that you love, that's great. Maybe I'll grow to love it. It was cool to see Skeet Ulrich back, though,
and it was actually him too.
It wasn't. I'm hoping. I think another big kind of disappointment might have been a little unrealistic for us that we got our hopes up for this. I was hoping for 3 Ghostface, and the mastermind was going to be Stu, who is alive, and he's the Billy. That's what I was hoping was going to happen. And he never showed up, and I'm hoping that actually happens in Scream 6 or whatever they
I don't know how he would have lived. Like, if we're living in a realistic,
they never really
time
definitively say that he died.
I mean,
Karen can go on.
He died twice, though. The rule is you have to kill him twice. He did. He got shot in the chest, and then he got the TV thrown on his head.
Yeah, so I think you probably know this, Hunter, but I think the original when they were developing Scream 2, the original thought was going to be, or Scream 3 was going to be that Stu was going to be the killer. He didn't actually die.
Yeah.
I do understand logically at this point, like, probably Dewey and everyone else would have known that if Stu had been alive this whole time, they would have. Yeah, because
Dewey would have known if he was
in prison. But when they established, you could see that it was Stu's house and that Amber lived there. And so I was so thinking they were at least going to tie in, like, Amber was related to Stu and stuff.
By the way, there is someone who is related to Stu in this film.
Yeah, isn't it the random guy who gets killed?
Oh, okay.
The guy that looks like Billy Loomis, who is related to Stu Macher.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of actually where I had gotten my hopes up as soon as you knew, like, you could see that it was Stu's house. I'd kind of gotten my hopes up that it would at least be some sort of familial connection, and that would kind of be the motive.
I was just thinking he was going to show up. I really want a Matthew Lillard return.
I know.
I feel like
I do too, but
I feel like
it's got to be realistic.
Well, I know that you say it's got to be realistic, but then I'm like, well, they kind of shoehorned this whole thing in, like, oh, well, apparently when Billy was begging for sex from Sydney in the first movie, he had already cheated on her and had a baby with someone. And I feel like if they could shove that story into it, then...
I mean, that is realistic, though. That seems like something Billy would do in the first movie.
Yes.
Especially because he was begging for sex so much that when Sydney wouldn't give it to him, he went out and got himself with someone else. I mean, that's
a good point, Hunter. That
happens all the damn time, and it's sad, but yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, are there any other great points that we haven't discussed? I'm just trying to
go through, like, different
Kincaid is alive.
Yes.
And he's married to Sid with 2 kids.
I love that.
Let's go.
We didn't get a Patrick Dempsey cameo, but we got him by name. So that was pretty cool. Were there other cool character stuff? Oh, we got a whole thing with what's her face? Hicks and her son.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was a great scene.
What the kill or?
I mean, all of it.
Okay.
Just the idea of like, one, I love that the guy named Wes Hicks, named after Wes Craven, is one of the first teenagers killed in this film. Wes would have appreciated that.
Yeah.
But the way he killed Judy was fucking brutal. He stabbed her like 10 times in the broad daylight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like just out in the open.
Yep. Oh, and then the really cool thing, I remember, this was really funny, because right after when Wes gets out of the shower and then he's going to do stuff, they have like the two big fake outs where you thought maybe there was going to be a jump scare.
I love it.
And then I remember Carrie in the theater, she went.
That's the second one. The first one I tolerated, and then the second one I was like
really two fake outs, and then the third one.
I love the two fake outs though, because it builds suspense, but also it's just like kind of toying with the audience.
It was kind of funny. It was like, really? Okay.
It's like two of these, really? Oh, Kirby's alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, they showed that in when Richie's watching the videos.
The YouTube videos. By the way, shout out to Dead Meat for being a cameo in here. Chelsea and Chain.
Oh, it was a YouTube thing?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a video where it says something like Kirby Survivor.
Yeah, so during that scene, if you look to the side where the production bar is in, it says, interview with Woodsboro Survivor, and it's got Kirby's face on it.
Oh, okay,
I only know this because of looking up Easter eggs on YouTube. I did not know.
And then there's another one of Kirby where if you pause it, which I can't wait to get this on DVD so I can pause it, but there's apparently when Dewey is calling or texting Gail, he goes to his contacts, and you can see one of the first contacts is Kirby.
Oh. Interesting.
So he's like checking up on Kirby every so often.
That's really cool.
Kirby was smart though, and probably got the fuck out of Woodsboro.
Right.
I hope so. Which what Samantha and Tara were going to do.
Yeah, they were trying. I was like, that's a smart move.
Yeah, they were just chilling.
Yeah,
with the killer the whole time.
But fucking Richie had to steal the inhaler.
Yeah, and I thought it had been Tara Amber who sold Tara's inhaler, because at that point you knew it was Stu's house, and I was like, I know it's Amber, so Amber must have taken the inhaler. And then when Richie pulls it out, I'm like, fuck. I'm
like, you motherfucker.
And I love
the Dutch angle, the tilted angle.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Stu's house. Beautiful shot. I love
that. But they used to do that in the earlier ones all the time, and I love that about the scene. The scene, because this kind of reminds me, speaking about Amber, the scene when both her and Mindy are in the basement getting the beer or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like a callback to the garage scene.
That whole scene is amazing, because what's great about it is you have someone related to Randy who is explaining the rules to the serial killer.
Right.
And nobody knows it.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people are like, I called the killers like really early on and stuff like that. I
don't think anyone could have called Amber.
In that scene,
I could see.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking maybe Richie, but like in that scene in particular, I was like, I think it's probably one of them, but I wasn't sure who it was.
Yeah,
I suspected it was really going to be Mindy.
I thought maybe it could have been Mindy.
She said that line like, "No, I'm the killer," and she fucking paused.
Right?
And I was like, "Oh shit!"
I was like, "Really?"
Because then you're like, well, this is, it's so on the nose. A lot of these movies, you're like, maybe that's her admitting it, and then she goes, "Hey, just kidding." but but you got to watch out.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. I'm like, Randy would do that.
Yeah.
This is such a fun franchise, though, because when you watch each movie for the first time, you can suspect almost everyone is the killer. And so it's always a surprise.
So
they throw you bones everywhere to try.
I will say, and I don't know if this is going to make me sound, weird or whatever.
Maybe.
In this movie, it felt like any one of them could have been the killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Scream 1, I had a few suspects when I first watched it, but I knew it wasn't, a few of these. Like I knew Randy couldn't be it, etc. In this movie, you had no idea who the killer was, and that's the great thing.
Yeah.
They literally planted Easter eggs in every single character. That even Liv, I was like, maybe it's Liv. Maybe she just finally snapped.
Yeah, because I thought that they were doing Richie as like a red herring so much.
So did I.
That it couldn't really be him, but then I was like, but maybe that's the point, and maybe it is him.
See, I didn't think it was Richie at first because I was like, they said it was someone who knew the secret. Knew Sam's secret. And I was like, he doesn't know her secret though. And then when you revealed of course he knows it. He's a Stab fan. Of course he's gonna stalk, Billy Loomis's daughter, etc. And I was like,
well, I mean, in the first place, you don't really think he's a Stab fan because he's saying he's catching up on them on Netflix.
On Netflix,
so you can know what's going on. So he's pretending not to even know what these things are or to know anything about what happened in Woodsboro.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a genius way of kind of concealing it.
You can also tell that he's a horror fan because when Mindy is explaining what a requel is, he immediately goes to, like Halloween.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that.
And I'm like, okay, so this dude knows horror movies. He just hasn't watched the Stab movies.
Right. Wow. Hasn't watched the Stab movies.
Hasn't watched them.
But yeah, like when you said, the whole Mindy thing, like it's such a Randy thing to say is like, I'm the killer. Because he does say something like that. When he goes, I'll be right back. And it's like, okay, I'll be in the kitchen with the knife.
Yeah, I'll be in the kitchen with a knife.
Yeah, so it would totally be something that he says. So yeah, I just think that they were just so true to a lot of these characters and the legacy characters. And then they explain about legacy characters.
Again, I will always go back to Amber's line of you can't have a bona fide Halloween without Jamie Lee. Just her delivery was so Matthew Lillard that I loved it.
Yeah.
What is her name? Mikey? She is so
Mikey.
Good. I think her name's Mikey. She's so unhinged. I love her. I want to see her in more shit. Mikey Madison. Yeah, so
yes.
She's so great. Really everybody in this movie is great. Is there any other
big
good,
up to Jack Quaid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As Richie, Jack Quaid is amazing.
Yeah, and it kind of plays against
that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it kind of plays a little bit against type for him because I was telling Carrie, because I've seen the boys. Carrie hasn't yet. But in that, he's not like a bad guy. He's like a normal guy that's in weird situations and stuff like that. So I mean, he does kind of show a little bit of a darker side, but he's never like a villain. Yeah. And so now he gets to play that both sides in this movie too. Yeah. And I feel like that was just so brilliant. And I'm excited to see where he goes next.
All right. So do you guys think that we are going to get a Scream 2, Scream 6?
I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, this was very successful. They actually made this movie with a very small budget.
And it's already got its money back opening weekend.
And then some. Yeah. And it's like it was weird because I was watching one of my favorite critics, Dan Murrell. He does charts. I was watching his chart stuff, and the way he did the charts, where it was like the one movie that made the most and the movie that made the least, and all of them made the money. I was like, well, you flip some of these, and that's my ranking of the films. But yeah, this one made like almost, I think, the third most amount of money in like a pandemic.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think they probably will try for a Scream 6 because they definitely set it up where Sam's the new character. They set
the
up
new
all
Sid,
the
yeah.
they set up all the new like set of characters. And I think and they set it up so that, you know, Sid and Gail wouldn't necessarily have to be
come back.
in 6. Which
It's
makes
actually
sense.
funny because that is like the whole. That's super meta. You don't have Sidney Prescott on this one. That's the reason why they snapped in this one.
Yeah, so I think if they do make a 6, the future of whether they may continue to make more will depend on the success and whether it can stand alone without
legacy
Sydney and
characters.
Gail
Yeah.
and Dewey.
Yeah, and that I don't know if it doesn't have the legacy characters. I don't know. I think they're going to have to bring Sid back again. I don't feel like this one was like this one was a really good goodbye to Dewey, but I don't feel like this was a good enough goodbye to Sid or Gail, really.
Yeah, I mean,
all.
I agree with that, but I also don't want to see them come back just to die because then I feel like it turns into like Friday the 13th where they slowly
No. Yeah, no, I wasn't saying. I agree with that. I definitely don't want to see them come back and die, but maybe to see that they're like living happy lives.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they kind of already are. We know that they are, but
yeah, because we know that like Sid's married and has kids,
yeah,
things like that. So that I feel like that's enough closure for me. Is that like now I know that her and Kincaid are together. I know that she has kids at family, which is something she didn't have to begin with. So that kind of ties in her story, and then the fact that she came back and the killers are like kind of recreating Scream 1 in her honor. That's a really good way for her to go out.
Yeah. And it would be interesting to see where they go next. Like I really kind of hope they do that Stu Macher thing because that would be brilliant.
I have an idea, and I don't know how insane it sounds.
Go ahead, man. You already sound pretty insane, so just keep going. Just kidding.
Because at the end of this movie, they hinted at the idea that there's a darkness in Sam.
Well, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Bloodline.
I mean,
so what if they continue this for a few more movies and eventually have to have Tara as the main hero and Sam slowly becoming the villain?
I could see
pretty
that.
much taking that Billy, the blood of the Loomis inside of her, and really just letting it go.
That would be a really crazy arc. That would be really cool to see.
Because that ties in the whole idea of Screaming family as well, like the family dynamic, to a whole new level.
Yeah, because I mean, like you saw her, she was estranged from Tara because she left. Tara's pissed off at her, and then like they kind of like mended. But like, what if maybe that blows up again?
Yeah. Like maybe she stops taking her medicine. Maybe she's like, I don't need this. I can accept that he's my father. And you don't have to bring Billy back all the time, but there's just certain scenes where you want to use him where it's like, not like a force ghost or whatever. He doesn't talk, but he just kind of like nods at stuff where he's like,
and then what if
Dexter, almost like Dexter and Harry. Dexter, like the mind tricks of like
the dark passenger.
Yeah, like you know what you're doing here. Just the subtle nods that kind of lead her down the wrong path.
Yeah, maybe she thinks that she's doing a good thing or something at some point, and then
like she goes after bad people, or she thinks she's going after bad people, but she's really not.
That would be really cool though if like it ends up in like the third one or something like that.
Where it's sister versus sister.
She ends up being the Billy Loomis, and then we get Matthew Lillard back.
Oh my God!
You're still on it. You're never gonna let it go.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
So, anyways, I
don't know. I kind of hope they go down that route of like showing more of Sam's darkness that she has in her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta be you gotta really let your anger out to stab someone 18 times in the chest and slit his throat at the same time. So,
especially when like that person was like just your boyfriend,
yeah,
and like you maybe I don't know where their relationship was, but I don't know. Yeah, she had no
Plus,
no
no qualms about just stabbing the fuck out of him.
just like, nope, you're done.
Plus, that ending line of like, new rule: don't fuck with the daughter of a serial killer.
Yeah.
That's interesting because to me, it sounds like she's accepting her fate now. She's accepting that this is who I am. You know, there's no changing that.
Yeah, and then that's
that
like
could be.
what was that? What was the show that was like, I gotta accept I'm the bad guy? Oh, Breaking Bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel like when Aaron Paul is like, I'm the bad guy, and you accept it. It's kind of like the same thing here with Sam. She's like, I'll accept I'm the daughter of a serial killer. Maybe I'm the bad guy. So I can see that where it would lead to that.
Yeah. You see what I mean? Like there's certain details in that last act that make me feel like they're going to explore more.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah.
I don't think you're crazy at all. I think that's a good point.
Thank you. I'm not crazy for once. Before we end it, I do want to tell one of my favorite terror lines. It was the one where Sam is talking to her at the end, and she's like, I'm the reason Dad left, etc. And she goes, you're not the reason Dad left. You didn't choose where you came from or who you came from. I don't blame you for that. I blame you for leaving too.
Yeah.
For leaving me too.
That was such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Again, Jenna Ortega.
Oh, yeah.
This girl's a star.
She is.
Yeah.
For sure. Did we want to just do, like, for now, with 5 in there, what our Scream rankings are?
Sure. Carrie, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah, I'll start. It's always tough, my second position. I think I'm gonna go.
Are you going from least to best or best to least?
Okay, I'll go least to best. So number 5 at the bottom will be 5 for right now. Number 4, Scream 3.
Okay. Just gonna count down.
Third. This is where I always struggle between these two. I'm going to say third right now is Scream 2. Second is Scream 4. And then first is the original Scream.
Wait, so 5, 3, 2, 4, 1?
5, 3, 2, 4, 1. Yeah.
Okay, that's insane. All right. But, I mean, I respect your opinion, but that's insane, dude.
Toxic fandom is who it's up, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, maybe I'm the killer.
Yep.
I'll go then. My bottom is 3. I look at it as like a film too. I love all Scream films.
Yeah.
None of these are bad to me.
Yeah, none of these are bad movies.
3 definitely has more problems, I think. Maybe if I watch 5 more, I'll see more problems with it. But I actually would probably put 5 above 4 as well. So I'll put 4 at 4. And then I put 5 at 3. Because for me, nothing beats the first 2 films. They're the best. And I mix 1 and 2 all the time. Sometimes I put 2 at number 1. Sometimes I put 1 at number 1. But honestly, I'm just going to have to put 2 at 2 and 1 at 1 because I think 1 is just the classic. And it's just the most fun you can have in a Scream film is 1. And it can't be topped, I feel like. So that's my ranking. 3, 4, 5, 2, 1.
All right, I'm completely different, I think.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I got to put Scream 3 at last.
Mm-hmm.
It's the more time I watch it, the more I appreciate it. And Parker Posey, best part of that movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's great.
But I can't get over the voice changer thing.
Yeah, we were noticing that too. It was weird.
I can't.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense in that movie.
Yeah, so Scream 3 is last. Then Scream 2.
I think the other thing about Hunter is that he does not like the bangs. That's what really
Yeah.
gets him.
By the way, they made that joke in this movie, and I love it.
Yeah, they did. All right, so
I
3,
gotta write down
2.
to be sure. So I'm typing it up real quick just to be sure I don't lose track.
That is very different, Hunter. 2 at 4.
Yeah,
What?
it's a really good sequel.
It's got Buffy in it.
It does have Buffy in it, but she dies in like 15 minutes.
That's
So
true. Well, maybe not 15 minutes, but pretty soon.
3. Scream 3, Scream 4.
I knew he was gonna have 4 high.
3, I'm gonna go right now. Scream 5,
Okay.
Okay.
and then 2, Scream 4.
About to say, you're not putting Scream 4 1, are you?
It every day it changes.
Really?
Some people's favorite,
changes.
yeah.
That's insane.
I don't know.
All right.
The original got me into horror. Scream 4 brought my love back to horror. I will say that.
Okay.
And what I love most about it is not only the reveal of the killers and their motivation, but how smart the characters are. This is the first movie where a character wins the trivia games.
Yeah.
Kirby wins the trivia game.
Kirby,
And
yeah.
then she gets stabbed right after. It's to subvert your expectations. That's what I love.
Well,
about
she
it.
kind of cheats. She like throws out a bunch of movies. And
Hey,
like,
if it works, it works. Hey,
when's the last time you played a trivia match, Hunter, where you wrote all the movies down on a whiteboard?
To be fair, it is impressive that she's able to bring out
Rattle
all
off.
these horror sequels
True.
or remakes.
And to be fair, her prior question was a trick because they
Yeah.
gave multiple choice and the answer wasn't
In the multiple choice.
Challenge.
It was like peeping Tom,
Yeah.
Still
which
gotta
I'm
see that
still
one.
not sure about that answer.
Yeah.
It came out, I think, a few months before
Before Psycho.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I love Kirby as a character.
Oh, same. She's the
Yeah.
best new
She's
character.
one of
in
the
that.
best new characters.
Yeah.
But I love the twist of Jill being the killer because
Yeah.
you don't expect it. And then she has the same kind of arc as Amber in this film. She starts off like kind of nice, you don't expect her, and then she goes fucking batshit at the end of it.
When she like dive bombs into the coffee
She
table.
tumbled through the
Holy
table,
Ugh.
and I was like, I love this movie.
shit. Damn. And just like, doesn't she break up with Trevor at that point?
I mean, she kills him.
And
Doesn't she say like we're breaking up?
Yeah, and then she like stabs her shoulder with the knife.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She goes for it. She pulls her hair
Well,
out.
she's got to like run into it too.
Yeah, she runs into
Yeah.
it. She pulls her hair out. I'm just like, yeah, go for it. Why not?
Is it clear? Clear? Clear.
That's
don't
fantastic.
never
Love
fuck
that
with the
one.
Never fuck with the original.
Don't fuck with the original, Hunter. You have to put that one number 1.
And that's why I did this episode. And look, I'm wearing it on my t-shirt, so I gotta do it.
Nice.
By the way, Scream 4 also mentions that Robert Rodriguez directed the first Stab film.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yes.
Also, shout out, since we're talking Scream, shout out to Jada Pinkett Smith. She has one of the best like deaths
Yes.
in
Yes.
all of Scream
Oh.
films. I just love the way she like screams in front of the screen, and then she just like collapses dead.
I don't
She has,
know.
like the craziest dead face. I'm like, oh my god.
Hers was good, but Omar Epps fucking stabbed through the ear
Oh, yeah.
in
And
a
we were-
dirty bathroom stall.
And we were like, how the hell they know where his head was?
I know.
Exactly.
But that was brutal. That was totally brutal. Yeah.
No, but like, and unlike other people, I love the fake out opening kills. I love the stab 7, stab 6, stab 5, and then we finally get one.
Shut
I
the
love
fuck up and watch the movie. Kristen Bell.
With the knife. Kristen Bell doesn't give no fucks.
Yeah.
She'll end up back than anybody.
And I love seeing Amy Teagarden in there because I'm a huge Friday Night Lights fan.
Yeah.
So
And then you got Lucy Hale in one of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of. It was a very interesting way to open a Scream film. I really like.
Plus, Scream 4 was at that point the brutalist of the Scream movies. Like,
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I mean when they kill Allison Brie and then just drop her on top of that van, holy
Well,
shit!
Trevor's is pretty brutal.
Trevor's is brutal.
Olivia's is the brutalest of
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much all.
Oh, the broom is just
Yes.
totally covered in blood.
It's covered in blood. Her guts are hanging out. Sid can't even stand to look at it.
Yeah, that's right.
By the way,
That's right.
Scream 5 also has little nods to Scream 2 and Scream 4 because Richie gets stabbed in the same arm as Derek and Jill.
Oh,
He
interesting.
gets sliced in the arm in the hospital scene.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Another callback to the other movies.
Yeah.
We could literally talk about these movies for hours.
For a long
I
time.
know.
Yeah. But
Guys, where do people find you online?
oh well, for me, I'm all over the place. I do letterbox rankings a lot of the time. You can find me like Chadwick Webb on there. I do a lot of trivia around the fan leagues, TMG, Jack of all trivia. I'm trying to join Hunters League. Maybe that'll happen at some point.
Have you on the roster for horror, man?
And then so I'm in a lot of the trivia ones. I do movie battlegrounds over at TMG. That's a big debate league, which is really fun. I also do. I haven't written it down, but I do a show over on my buddy Dill Randazzo's channel. It's the Dill Pickle Movie Network. I do a show called Picture This over there. We every month we go to a year in Oscars history, and we watch all of the Best Picture nominees, including the winner.
Ooh.
And we watch all of them. Then we talk about them. We talk about the year itself, and we rank these films. And then we also will give little nods to the actors and the great actors and actresses of those years. And it's really fun. So this month we're doing 1980. And we're having a special guest also seen in the fan leagues. Dan Skip Allen is going to be on it. And yeah, and then we'll tease that video. That should be dropped later this month. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. I have kind of like my own little channel that I do some rankings with my friend Dill, Carey, and my buddy James. We haven't done that much. We got like an Edgar Wright ranking, a Christmas ranking, and I'm going to drop a Harry Potter ranking soon.
Where's Baby Driver at on that list?
It depends on who you ask.
Well, we did a final. I guess you'll have to watch it because I don't remember
either. So
I will definitely check it out.
Check that out. I think it's just my name. So Chadwick Webb. Yeah.
You're also a writer as well for Nerd Entertainment Network.
Yep.
Trivia Challenge. Carrie?
Yeah, also a writer right now for Movie Trivia Challenge. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not really online, but I guess if you want to see pictures of our cats, I'm on Instagram at Carrie Elizabeth 17.
Nothing but cats. I love it.
It's mostly cats.
All right, guys. Hey, cat cameo. Love it. All right, guys. If you did enjoy this, hit that like button, subscribe to Nerd Entertainment Network down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys soon.